the deep dark thought of getting into a 1500 chassis truck, but you don't really want to give up some of the things that of your diesel truck offers. True, I get it. So here are a few of the things that notably stand out to me from my 20,000 miles behind the wheel. So I went through and recorded this entire video, and then I sat down to edit it, and I realized that the footage was so unbelievably shaky that it would be a disservice for me to upload it because you'd probably feel nauseous afterwards. It's just that first 3 to 6 months that are always the hardest in starting anything new because you're not seeing any results. But think about it, 6 months goes really freaking fast. And looking back 6 months from now, you're not gonna feel anything like you felt in the past looking back on that 6 months because you're on this path. You literally need to build this plane as you fly it. Put gas in the tank first, start taking some action, get in flight, and then figure out how to make your seat comfortable as you're flying. Bro, I'm looking forward to continuing to have these conversations, and you're asking great questions, man. Like, you can't make this go any faster, but you can certainly make it stop. So just continue at the rate that you're on.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, brother.
All right.
Till next time, man. Cheers.
Talk to you soon.
Take number 2. I'm gonna do my absolute best to hold the camera as still as I possibly can as I record this video. Now, what you guys had witnessed there was a call and some of the takeaways of that call that I wanted to share with you guys. For those of you that don't know, I actually do some one-on-one mentorships about personal development, personal growth, establishing yourself and growing in business, not just specific to my businesses, but basically introducing them to the framework that I've established over the last 10 years that I've applied to every single thing that I've done, not only in my personal life, but also in businesses to find success and well-being in balance in all facets of my lifetime. That I wanted to share a few things with you guys as an excerpt of, if you want to do something, literally just put gas in the tank, and that's just taking action metaphorically. Build the plane as you're flying it. Don't get that thing perfect because you're going to encounter situations along your travels that you're never going to account for. There are always going to be headwinds, and you're going to have to figure out how to navigate them, and that's why you make adjustments on the fly. No pun intended. Today, as a matter of fact, I'm actually taking this second round into my office, aka pole building, where we are going to talk about an HD truck expert's, self-coined because I've owned over $3 million in HD trucks, opinion about that of the 2022 and a half plus, aka current body style 1500 3-liter inline 6 turbo diesel Duramax with the 10-speed transmission. There are a few reviews about this platform across YouTube. This one's just gonna be a little bit different because genuinely I'm talking to that of my audience, that of my subscribers, that of my OGs, that of my enthusiasts. Now, before we get to that, I just want to go over my truck with you guys real quick. This is a 2022 and a half revised body style Denali Ultimate 1500. It's pearl white, truck sick. It's got the really nice brown leather interior. I'm gonna go into a few interior bits here in a minute. This thing right here actually has the LM2 engine in it, 2022 and a half. It's one of those weird like half-year cutoffs that GM's done in the past. The 2023 has the LZ0. This truck is completely stock with the exception of the wheels, tires, and a small leveling kit. Everything is 100% factory on this truck. I've owned pretty much, with very minor exception, every single diesel truck that's known to exist north of 2002 from every brand that's relevant, with the exception of very few model years. I have driven them daily, I've driven them for fun, I've played with them, I've modded them, I've done it all, so I ultimately wanted to seek a change for myself for a period of time. Now, I think there's a little bit of a stigma or an ego that comes along with individuals that have an HD truck and that are maybe even considering the deep dark thought of getting into a 1500 chassis truck, but you don't really want to give up some of the things that of your diesel truck offers. True, I get it. So here are a few of the things that notably stand out to me from my 20,000 miles behind the wheel. Mind you, I wanted to make this video right now because this truck will actually be departing as I have a new replacement that's currently on its way. More to come on that. If you guys are excited about it, you should be, because I'm really looking forward to it myself. So I would say that overall, I'm extremely pleased with this truck for a few reasons. One, I just wanted to simplify my daily driving experience. The first thing you'll notice about these 1500s is the fact that the wheelbase is actually shorter as it pales in comparison to the HD truck. They are longer, not really that much smaller. It's still a quad cab. It's got a lot of room, but it is smaller than the HD truck, as well as the smaller bed. I did not equip mine with the 6-foot bed. Substantially easier to navigate that your life gets you into. All right, now number 2 is the overall ride quality. Is the difference intergalactic in the fact that this thing rides so unbelievably buttery smooth compared to that of any HD truck due to the nature of the chassis and the suspension. Even with the small leveling kit that I have on this truck, it still rides ride so buttery smooth that as you navigate the small little bumps and humps that happen on the road, you really just don't even feel them. Naturally, it's a lower truck, so they're smaller, but they also sit lower, which means kind of two things. One, getting in and out of it is substantially easier. Although there's a step, it's really not even necessary. You can step into this truck by basically bending your knee to flat to get inside of it. It's not like it's a treacherous task by any means. For any of my parents out there, you guys will especially relate to this. Having children, especially young children, means that there's a workout involved when going anywhere. So getting my youngest son's car seat in here isn't an issue. Easy, I can lift him up, I can put him in without having to step up onto the board, ultimately kind of like duck my head, not hit my kid's head as I'm putting them in, and ultimately just trying to navigate around that. As well as for those of you that are married, that have a spouse, yes, my wife can pick the car seat up into this truck without an issue, without having to step up on the floorboard. Now, I wanted to extend on that and also saying, if you notice, I am 5'11". I could literally reach through the bedside and reach almost all the way down to the bed to grab whatever it is I need out of it. Now, interior-wise, this thing is absolutely gorgeous in every way, shape, and form. The massage seat function is freaking incredible. I like that, not actually for the fact of shifting gears, but rather for the fact that it's just a really nice rest. I can sit here, and as I'm driving, I typically always steer with my left arm. I have my right arm hanging out right here, and you can kind of just rest your arm. It's really nice. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I like it just for that reason in and of itself. You actually have your column shifter, which I also like. It's not that I'm hating on the column shifter by any means, but when you're in drive, the column shifter actually is perfectly in the way of the power button, the volume button, and then the home button. Another thing that I really like about the 1500 Ultimate is this feature right here. Actually hit this button and it drops all of the windows at the exact same time. Does not go up though. Just down. General piloting and navigating the 1500 is substantially easier than that of the 2500 because it sits lower and it has better visibility over the hood. It is angled down, so you have much better visibility looking over the hood of the truck, where HDs, for anybody that's ever driven one, like 2020 plus, it feels like the theory of Christopher Columbus, where it's just a flat hood. It has a big intake right here, and then it just drops off, making it substantially harder to see. Now, navigation and general visibility is actually better with these small little mirrors as well, because they are just a nice little horizontal platform that gives you full visibility of everything behind you. I'm not hating on the tow mirrors at all. I'm just saying general interaction with the small mirrors is substantially easier. Now, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the motor right now, but I'm going to also add one little tidbit for business owners at the end of this video, so don't click off just yet. This thing qualifies for something that is so powerful from a tax strategy perspective. As I had mentioned, this is a 2022 and a half, so it's the last half year of the LM2, and then 2023, the LZ0 came out to supersede this engine. I think it made a little bit more power. Don't quote me on any of those figures. I'm not even gonna mention any of those figures. If you want to know the figures, go to Google. I'm genuinely, when I say this, blown away by the fact that I'm averaging with an almost 33-inch tire, a leveling kit, and aftermarket wheels, nearly 26 miles to the gallon on average. That's combined highway and city driving. I'm getting 500 miles per tank on average per fill up. All right, so cruising the LM2. Let's turn our music off here. Man, this new camera setup's pretty solid though, man. Yes, I get ridiculous fuel economy in this truck. I used a quarter of a tank and I have 333 miles left to my range, and that's been all around town driving with obviously frequent acceleration, deceleration. Number two is, this truck is so ridiculously smooth because of the torque that this small motor makes, paired with the gear ratios of the 10 gears in the transmission. The beautiful thing about diesels in general is obviously all the torque that they make. Now, for us true diesel guys, especially tuned diesel guys, the top end on this thing isn't anything to write home about, but it still gets up and goes. Nothing remarkable, nothing earth-shattering, but if you're qualifying this thing as a daily driver, are you looking for fuel economy and good usable power, or are you looking for a racetrack, right? You're not gonna get both. So I am very happy with the overall drivability of it. The transmission is super selective in its gearing, and it's overall really honestly super easy to drive. Now, the last and final thing that I had mentioned that I realized that didn't get recorded was I did have the opportunity to tow with this truck. I towed a 14,000 pound GVWR dump trailer with a KX91, which is, I believe, like an 8,000 pound machine. It did it. I don't think it loved it, but it did it, and I didn't exceed the total GCWR of 15,000 pounds, which is what it's rated for. Welcome to the front seat, my man. I would say, like, if you're in that tweener state where you want a diesel, you want fuel economy, you want torque, you want an awesome ride quality, you want something that's great for maybe your family or just your everyday immediate needs and kind of check some of the boxes. You don't have a huge towing need, but you want versatility of a truck. This is a great truck, man. I didn't think that I would like it this much. And then I blinked and it was like a year later. I think that's where I'm gonna sign off finally in this video. Thanks for watching as always, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.